How's everybody doing? This is the part two segment of my two-part video for the Brian Speaks On YouTube channel. And in this two-part series, I'm talking about specifically the Sandra Bland incident, but also some of the things that encompass that when you deal with a situation like this. In the first video, I spoke of those who, if they don't have some form of personal stake or feel in incidents like this, they usually tend to dwell in their dissonance and their dogmas and not acknowledge or have empathy for situations like this. In this second video, I wanted to focus more on the aspect of those who not only rationalize what the police do in situations like that, but actually try to sit there and encourage people to do something that I consider to be a very pathetic thing to do, to encourage. I'm not saying that it makes the people pathetic themselves as a whole, but I do think that it's a pathetic trait to have. And what it is that I feel represents that is the trait of telling people and encouraging people to be completely submissive and obedient when it comes to things like that. And I find it pathetic because if you give yourself completely vulnerable and submissive to someone else, you give your power away, and you give your dignity away. And it's one thing to want to be cautious. It's one thing to want to be smart and not tripwire something and make something worse. But at the same time, when are you supposed to stand up for yourself? And when you're not doing anything and you're being violated by somebody who's already chosen to violate you. You've been approached unjustly harassed by somebody who has the authority granted to them to take away your freedom and take away your life. They've already chosen to bother you. They've already chosen to harass you. So now your response to that is to just completely bow down, surrender. Hey man, just do whatever you want. I just came home from work. I just want to go home. Now you're blubbering and begging their forgiveness. And again, they've already targeted you on a certain level. So what makes you think that they respect you as a human being on a certain level? What makes you think that they're not getting off on your display of acquiescence? What makes you think that they're not laughing at you on the inside? Look at this sniveling, groveler. Look at them. They, the fact that they are approaching you on those terms, to me, shows how they see you already. They don't value you as a human being. They don't see you as a human being. So to just sit there and be completely, submissive like that and obedient, you can have that. That's you. But keep that to yourself, man. Because there are people out there who didn't have a chance to even show some type of reaction that they could twist into something, and they're no longer here. You could talk about the Tamir Rices, the Akai Gurleys of the world. They didn't speak back, and even if they did, it's their right. They could have spoken back. It's supposed to be your human birthright. Let's not even talk about constitutions and stuff like that. It's your right as a human being to be able to speak your discontent to somebody if they're bothering you unjustly, if they're harassing you. You should be able to say, hey man, what is your deal? Since when did speaking back become an offense justifiable by death? So y'all would just say, hey, throw everything out the window in that moment, and just hope that they let you go. Well, if that was what was in their hearts, they wouldn't have never bothered you to begin with. I mean, and you would encourage others. And again, as a parent, I can understand telling my daughter, if you're in a situation like that, what I would say is say as little as possible. Say as little as possible. They ask you a question, you give them as few words in response as possible. But I'm not going to say just get on your knees and put your hands behind your head and just completely surrender yourself. No, I'm not going to encourage anybody to do that, because it's a power trip for them. That's what it's about. It's a power trip. They get off on that. The ones that are, in committing these atrocities. That's what they're getting off on. And you would willingly give that to them. You're just basically feeding them what they want. So, I'm not encouraging stuff like that. I'm also not in the mood to entertain people who would rather use their energy to express discourse towards those who are showing what's going on. Why is it that you always have a verbal, you're always ready for a confrontation with those who are showing what's going on, but you're not ready to have a confrontation with those who are committing the things that we're showing? Why you don't have anything to say to them? Why aren't you posting your little lame subliminal posts about them instead of, oh, I'm getting so tired of all this negativity, I'm sick of this and this. You know what we're sick of? Being violated. We're sick of racism. But I don't see you throwing little subliminal posts about that. I don't see you saying, yo, all y'all racist fools, y'all out here making everything harder for everybody, you making me look bad, I ain't even down with y'all like that. I don't see you saying nothing like that. But y'all got a lot of energy for people who are actually just doing the job of showing people who may not have seen just how deep this goes. But you mad at them. You got corny subliminal posts for them though. That's why, if you're not, you could sit here and tell me you respect me, you like me, you got love for me or whatever like that. If that was the case, then you'd be fighting the fight. And it's not so much for me. It's not even so much for black people. It's because it's supposed to be a human issue. And if you do have black friends and you respect your black friends and you think that they're great people, why aren't you speaking up against something that you normally respond to as saying, hey, that's some evil stuff. Those people are just evil and hateful. So why aren't you taking that fight up then? Because you want things to change. Supposedly. You want things to change, but you don't want to affect change. You don't want to be a part of change. You don't want to change yourself. You don't want to take up the fight. Because that's too much for you. That's when it's like, oh, well, it ain't my fight though. Not realizing that what isn't your fight today may very well be your fight tomorrow. So it would behoove you to just speak up on it anyway. But again, y'all are the first ones to talk about how horrible racism is, but you're not speaking about it. So again, it kind of falls into that your silence is your acceptance on some level. You want to talk about how you got love for me, but you're not out here. You see what we're showing you, and you would rather chastise me for showing it and speaking on it? You would rather say, "Oh, y'all always going on with this stuff all the time. Y'all don't want to let it. Y'all don't want to just drop it." How can we drop it? It keeps happening. But you're not speaking to the ones who keep committing these things. Now, I'm not talking about specifically to them, but I'm just saying, hey, you could use your voice and speak against the whole, the concept itself, and let it be known. I don't rock with y'all. I guess that's just a little too much, too much sticking your neck out. You don't want to stick your neck out that far. Y'all want to love black people and love black culture, but y'all don't want to fight our fight with us. Not for us, with us. That's when it's like, I guess there's conditions to this. It's a conditional relationship. Alright. That's how it is, and that's how it is. But don't sit here and try to don't try to pander to me, and don't try to chastise me and make me feel like what I'm doing is somehow wrong. And thinking that subliminal posts and getting at me on my threads is going to stop what I'm saying. Because it's not. So, that being the case, everybody has options. And I'm choosing my option to keep on doing what I'm doing. You can like it or love it, ignore it or not. But it's not changing until the situation changes. The situation will change a lot faster when everybody gets into the game. But if you want to sit there and talk from the bleachers, your comments are invalid. You gotta get in the game. You can't talk from the peanut gallery and expect me to respect that. I just don't. And you know what? You don't have to respect or agree with what I say. But I don't need your respect or your validation. I don't. I have the birthright, the human right to speak my discontent. Same as Sandra Bland. I feel that woman. I feel her tragedy. Why should I feel her tragedy? I don't know her. But I feel like on some spiritual level, I feel her. It hurts. You think we out here just bitching and moaning? Starting trouble again. Yo, this hurts, man. This hurts us. This is a deep thing for us. And you want to sit there and minimize it. What kind of respect is that you showing me? You really respect me? I'm not buying it. People respect and empathize with other people's pain. If you can't empathize with it, just... Yo, man. It's like I said in the first video. Just disappear for a while. If you can't add to the solution, like why are you even here amongst the forums? This will change a lot faster when you understand that you're involved in this, whether you like it or not, whether you think so or not. You need to understand that what I deal with in my existence is not the same. We don't live in the same existence. But you will soon. If you keep allowing these cops to keep doing what they do and these states to become more police states, it'll be your struggle. Oh yeah. Well, we'll see. Be well, everybody.